I'm Susan Tenner, the Executive Director at Bugs, and I'm sending you greetings from my kitchen table with my kids and my cat Rainbow in the background. This is a 101 family webinar about remote learning at Bugs that we hope will really be helpful for all of you. First and foremost, we just have to say that we miss you and we wonder how you are. We hope everyone is taking care of themselves and finding moments of peace and connection at this time. And Bugsters, our kids, we wonder how you are and how you're doing. Everyone is really eager to meet you remotely starting on Monday. Parents, I want to thank you for your support. You have all been on our minds, and the decision process of the last week has been difficult, but the safety and well-being of our students, families, and our incredible staff is our utmost concern. And we are so glad that the DOE followed suit with closures to ensure our broader community's health. As a relatively young and independent school, I have to say our team at Bugs is particularly nimble and innovative and always so bright and committed. Good qualities for responding to this time. It's been nonstop work and problem solving, and I continue to be blown away by our whole team, particularly the leadership team and the tech team you will hear from on this presentation today. They are truly our superheroes, and I know they put their capes on for your kids every day. So this is also a time of opportunity for our school to explore the possibilities of technology and learning from home, for the staff team to flex new muscles and be innovative, and for the kids to experience learning and connection in a different way, for all of us to focus on what matters most. So we've been thinking a lot about access and focusing on that. We have a commitment to reaching all learners, and we distributed about 60 laptops so far, and many breakfasts and lunches have been distributed. And we really need to hear from you about how you need us, so be in touch. So we're waiting to hear guidance on items such as state testing, regents, details around attendance, promotion to the next grade. So please stay in touch with us and access the remote learning page on our website that we'll discuss with you later. We know that this is a strange and a truly historic moment, and it's a journey together, as we say, so we also want to try to enjoy it, to be patient with each other, to find balance, to provide feedback to us, and to find joy together. We hope our kids will journal and look back one day at this time with some positive reflection. So we have 3 remote learning guiding principles that are guiding our time right now during this remote learning period. We want things to be easy to use, to provide structure that's also flexible, and to maintain connections to the community. Some digital housekeeping items. So this is being recorded. It will be available on our remote learning landing page later this afternoon. You can send any questions to us after you review it to info@bugsbrooklyn.org. And we hope that you'll continue to come back to the remote learning landing page, where there'll be ongoing updated information and one-stop shopping for your questions and resources about this remote learning period. And now I turn over this Transitioning Bugs to Remote Learning 101 to our incredible principal, Wynette Caesar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. As Susan said, we hope you are all staying safe. We miss you. We look forward to seeing you again as soon as this is all over. In thinking about what remote learning at Bugs would look like, we also considered student and family privacy. And so we have put a few things in place, one of them being the way that staff communicate with students. So we have asked staff to only communicate with students through Bugs accounts using Google Suite of products. So you will see that students will receive email. They can Gchat, they can go to Google Classrooms, they can use Google Calendars and any other program that has been approved by Bugs. This is the way that we will be protecting students' privacy and keeping them safe. All sessions will be recorded and stored on our server so that they're available to students Even if they miss a class, they can go back and look at the recordings and still be able to complete the work. Supervisors will be frequently dropping into remote lessons. This is to support students and staff. So anytime a student sees a supervisor there, such as Mr. W, Miss Jess, Mrs. Zita, Miss Sade, they can also ask for support from them. We will be working with students to learn using best practices. We do have expectations for what online learning will look like and what the environment will look like. So students should definitely pay attention to the instructions from their teachers and follow those expectations. This will be a fluid process. What that means is we're going to be doing a lot of planning, much as we have before Monday, and we're going to put a lot of things in place for lesson implementation. We're going to be checking, hence the reason supervisors will be popping in as well. And then we're going to be reflecting, making some changes, planning for further implementation, and doing our best to make this a great learning opportunity for students and a great teaching opportunity for our teachers. I will now pass you on to Ms. Jess, our Director of Sustainability and Science, who will walk you through what remote learning will look like in the classroom.
Hey, good morning, Bugs families and students. So I'm going to give you the big picture view of what remote learning will look like at Bugs, and then we'll dive into the details. So on the next slide, you'll see a little bit of information about your student's schedule. Students and staff will follow their normal schedule. They'll just do so remotely. This provides structure for the day, and it's predictable and familiar for students. Staff are logged on during classes to teach and provide support. So what this will look like is every single class period opening with a Google Meet, so a video chat with students and teachers. And the teachers may be providing direct instruction, or they might just be checking in with students, but we wanted to provide the same platform for every single class so that students can get used to remote learning. And on the next slide, you will see that we are using a variety of programs to be responsive to your students' needs. So that means we're using several different applications online for students to learn remotely and to turn in their work. Most of these programs your student has had experience with in the past. They may have been using the Google Classroom Suite for years at Bugs, or tools specific to their courses. There are a couple new programs, but we're going to show students step by step how to use those new programs as well. And I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Mathematics, Mr. W, to talk to you about the detailed schedule.
Thank you, Ms. Jess. Hello, everyone. We have been spending a lot of time working with our teachers to figure out how this online learning environment is going to look. And we really wanted to lean into providing a structure that is useful for students, but also flexible. So on your screen, you'll see an example of maybe a typical week of a single class. We're going to say this is my favorite class, math class. So for this week, you might see that in the remote learning environment, that it's going to be a very flexible and different environment than maybe what you're used to. So you'll see on Monday, maybe they'll get a little bit of live instruction where the teacher is working through an algebra problem on a whiteboard from home. And after that, they're working in their textbooks. Maybe on Tuesday, they're seeing an online video tutorial from YouTube or from BrainPop, and then having a little bit more independent practice after that. Maybe on Wednesday, the instructor is back giving a walkthrough of a live slideshow with a few more practice problems after. And then maybe Thursday is an all-day practice problem in Dreambox. Finally, with Friday being a quick check for understanding to see if students understand the material. Again, it's going to be flexible. It's going to look a little different, but as you'll see, it's going to really focus on providing independent work time during that regular class schedule. Included in that independent work time, our teachers will be providing live instruction. Again, this is going to look different in the remote learning environment. There are 3 large techniques that our teachers generally will be using to provide the live instruction. One might be a screen share, where a teacher is working through a slideshow and they are sharing that screen with students so students can follow along. Another option they might do is video modeling, where, again, they might be working through an algebra problem on a whiteboard and students are following along at home. Lastly, they might include a read aloud section where either the teacher is reading a text to students or students are engaged and reading a text together virtually. As you may know, the majority of our classes are taught by 2 teachers, so we also gave some thought to how that might translate to the remote environment. In general, there will usually be a teacher that is monitoring the chat, answering student questions, checking in on students one-on-one, while the other student might be doing the teaching or maybe monitoring if they are turning in their assignments or maybe taking attendance. But we're really engaging both teachers to support all of our learners, because we want to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind. To talk a little bit more on how we're going to be supporting all of our diverse learners, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sade, our Director of Inclusion.
Hello, everyone. This is Ms. Sade. So we are working super hard to ensure that the needs of each of our students are being met. As we move into remote learning, you will notice that some of the supports mirror what is available in the physical classroom. Teachers will be including student work options in varying degrees of difficulty, just as they had before. Bugs uses a mild, medium, spicy system, and that will continue in the remote classroom. Teachers will also be including exemplars, visual aids, and audio supports to increase student understanding. Although our teachers are not meeting with students in person, they will still hold one-on-one check-ins with students through their Google Meet. These one-on-one check-ins will give students increased opportunities to work with and receive feedback from their teachers. As we move along, teachers will begin incorporating small group lessons, which will also boost teacher-student accessibility in the remote environment. And now I'll pass this back to our principal, Ms. Winnett.
Hello again. So I know everyone's probably wondering, the big thing on your mind, how will I be graded? While we acclimate to this new remote learning environment, the focus is not so heavily on grading. However, teachers will be assigning classwork and students will receive a classwork grade. So don't worry too much as we launch. Try to get acclimated, work out the kinks with your technology, your internet. I know I just had a little struggle with my internet. So these are things we want to get working well for you and relieve some of the stress around technology and not focus so heavily this coming week on what your grades are going to look like. More info to come. Question, what classes will my child attend remotely? I'm going to turn you over to our Director of Humanities, Mrs. Zita, to tell you more about that.
Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Zita, where I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on what classes that your students will be attending. So classes that will be in session: math, science, reading, writing, PE, Spanish, and advisory. Sustainability is only for 6th grade. The classes that we will not be attending is advancement. Instead of advancement, we're going to have teacher office hours. During our project block periods for 7th and 8th grade, there will be optional projects. More information to come about that later. And quiet time, it's to be determined also. I'm now going to turn it back over to Ms. Lynette.
So what if my child can't attend class at the regular time? We are opening up the opportunity for students to have 24 hours to turn in work. If you cannot attend a session, please notify your teacher. Please also notify your teacher if you won't be attending at all for that day. or your advisor. You have advisory from Monday through Thursday. Notify your advisor. You won't be able to attend if you are sick, or there's something else working for you that day or not working for you that day, especially technology. Please notify your teacher. You will have, as I said before, 24 hours after the class period to complete and turn in the work. So most classes will have work time, no homework, only classwork until further notice. Whenever your teacher is assigning homework after next week, you will know if it's homework. But for the most part, you will be completing classwork. Again, you have 24 hours before your classwork will be considered late. All work assigned will be available through Google Calendar events, so look there primarily, unless your teacher says otherwise. How will my child submit work? Great question. All of the platforms and apps presented are familiar to most of our BUG students, if not all of our BUG students. So primarily Google Classroom. In math, teachers will use Dreambox. In most subjects, teachers may put in a BrainPop activity, a vocabulary activity, Google Forms. You may see Khan Academy. However your teacher instructs you to turn in the work, this is what you should do. So again, look primarily at your Google Calendar to see what's happening. Look in Google Classrooms and follow your teacher's instructions. One last time, you have 24 hours after your class period to turn in your classwork. Families will be notified by teachers via Teacheries if there are any issues that come up with work being turned in. So families, please check your Teacheries email for any communication from teachers. Is all this too much screen time? Here's Ms. Jess to tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, everyone. Is all of this too much screen time? The answer is yes. So we have taken that into consideration as we are planning our lessons with students. Teachers are designing hands-on lessons. So look for those, especially in sustainability, the project block options that are on the way, and in their science classes. We are developing experiments that kids can do with their families in their kitchens. Lots of notebook work, drawing, field observations from your window, solo field study in the park. Different ways that families and students can get up from their computer screen, move their bodies, get some fresh air, and detox from the computer. Leadership and teachers will also be remotely meeting daily to assess and respond to student needs. So we're going to be assessing the amount of screen time that students are experiencing and developing lessons in different courses that address that need. We are also launching in a couple weeks social emotional learning that'll be phased in. So those are family and community activities that will engage students not just in their coursework, but also in social emotional learning. And I'm going to pass it on to Dean Damian, who's going to talk to you about student attendance during remote learning.
Hello, everyone. This is Dean Damian. I'm here to talk to you about something that's really important to all of us, attendance during remote learning. So we still want you to attend every session that's possible. We still want to see your faces and know that you're present and actively learning. Each session, we will be taking attendance. So rather than just taking it once in the day, we'll be taking attendance in every single class session. This will be tracked using the chat function. So when students log into the session, just typing your name in the chat function or saying, hey, I'm here, will be very, very helpful. As a backup, in case you aren't able to chat, you can send something in Google Classroom to your teacher that says, hey, I'm here. Attendance team will still be very active, so if you have any questions, you can reach out to the attendance team. So our main goal is to track and respond to the needs regarding remote learning. We will not let this affect your high school application process, and attendance will not impact any grades during this time period. Any students who is absent for an extended amount of time, we ask that parents send an email to info@bugsbrooklyn.org. Student expectations. Still very important during this time of remote learning. Parents, please help your child set up for success. Have a designated learning spot. Let's create a similar morning routine by changing clothes, getting up, getting ready, getting dressed. Limit your cell phone usage during class, just like in school, and print out or have a modified student schedule. Your Google Calendar events will reflect your schedule. Student expectations. Students are expected to be accountable for all work completions and attendance to all online classes. Behavior expectations. We are expected to follow the BUGS Code of Conduct and classroom expectations at all times. The Code of Conduct is posted on our website, just if you needed a reminder. Dressed appropriately as if you're in school. We are not requiring the uniform, so let's call this a dress down day. Join the class sessions with all the materials that you'll be needing for that session. Be kind and be respectful to everyone. If for some reason you are not meeting expectations, students will get 2 warnings before the teacher removes them from the class session meeting. You will then get a Dean's List referral, and someone on the Dean team from the Office of Student Affairs will be reaching out to families. When you first log in, make sure you turn off your microphone and your camera immediately. Do not record or screenshot the recordings with your personal devices. All recordings will be available for you after the session is over. And make sure that you are focused in class. Put all other distractions away.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josh Altamirano, and I'm the tech coordinator here at Bugs. I'm going to provide you with a couple of additional resources to help make this online learning and remote learning process as smooth and seamless as possible. We recommend that you download some of these apps on the screen. So Google Calendar, Google Meet and Hangouts, Classroom, Classcraft, Teacheries, that's available for parents and students, BrainPop, and News ELA student apps. All of these apps are available on iOS and Android, and this will allow you to access any of the materials should your computer become unavailable temporarily, or if for some reason you're not able to access a computer during the time of your class. Additionally, as mentioned before, please visit our remote learning landing page. All of the resources discussed during this presentation, including a copy of this presentation, will be posted on this page. Frequently asked questions and other resources will be updated daily as needed. I'm going to hand you over back to our Executive Director, Susan Tenner.
And her cat, Rainbow. Everybody say hi to Rainbow. Here we have some essential contacts around that are particularly pertinent to this moment of remote learning. We're here for you, and aside from our usual staff communication chart that lives on our parent portal, we've made this customized one for this remote learning period. It's also going to live on that one-stop shopping page that you'll keep hearing us talk about, the remote learning landing page on our website. So we've been telling our kids, many of us, to stay off technology and off of their phones for a long time now. But now is actually a time where these tools can help students now more than ever to stay socially connected. We know that humans are social, but adolescents are even more so. They're extra human. And so please encourage them to follow us and our social media, and we encourage you to do that as well. And please keep checking your email frequently for updates from us. So today we're posting this webinar on that landing page, and you'll be able to review it at any time. We hope that families will review it with their children. And kids should come with their questions and maybe some of your questions to their advisory class at 8:15 on Monday in Google Classroom. But you can also feel free to send us any questions at info@bugsbrooklyn.org. So yes, first, you're going to review this webinar, you're going to check out the remote learning website, and then your students are going to log in at 8:15 to their advisory class on Google Classroom, and they'll look for an assignment and there'll be some clear next steps. So we want to thank you so much for listening to this 101 webinar with us today. This may sound like a lot, and we know it is. It's been an amazing lift to transition the whole way that school is done. And again, I have to give a big shout out to our brilliant and flexible and very committed team. We want to give you a comprehensive overview that might answer some of your questions and wonderings. But if you find this overwhelming, we totally get it. No worries, just revisit this presentation again as you would like, or the remote learning landing page. And students should bring their questions again, as I said, to their Monday morning class. And you can feel free to send your questions as well to info@bugsbrooklyn.org. Please know that all these things also will be reiterated and confirmed naturally as they come up in the students' remote learning process. And we just want to thank you for your incredible partnership, all of you. It truly means so much. Please be in touch with us and let us know how we can help. We hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.